Well, what if I told you there exists a currency in the world which is way more powerful than the US dollar? The name of this currency, you might ask, it is time. Time is the most precious currency. The interesting part is that we all have an equal amount of this currency when we are born. But most of us consume it instead of investing it in the right direction. Only very few people actually know how to invest their time properly so that it works in building you and growing you. Now, with every currency, there comes a risk of robbery. And time is no different. The biggest time stealer is called, well, you all guessed it right. It is procrastination. Now, the question arises about its causes. How does it become the biggest time stealer, and how do we protect our currency? Procrastination is the act of putting off doing something that you should have done till another day or time. Or in simple words, the act of postponing things. Let us now understand the arithmetic of procrastination. Add a lot of excuses. Subtract genuine productivity. Multiply it with the time wasted on scrolling and overthinking, and divide the missed opportunities. Now, there are three attitudes responsible for us to procrastinate. On top is perfectionism. We must acknowledge that there is no such thing as perfection. Everything in this world has flaws, and it is the fear of making a mistake that limits us from unleashing our true self. Number two is the easily give up attitude. Many people have this attitude to quit on tasks that they find too difficult for them. But do remember, if we quit in the middle of something, it would take the same time to reach the destination than to come back. And number three is the I will do it later attitude. Many people have this attitude of scheduling tasks for later. But this would end us nowhere, because eventually we would forget about the task scheduled. Now, the thing with procrastination is that it is like a snake that envelops its coil around us, and breaking free is literally tough. But how do we get in this coil in the first place? Well, that, my friends, happens in three stages. Stage 1, later. In this stage, the due date is far, and a procrastinator chooses distractions over work. Stage 2, burden. In this stage, the due date is close and the work is piled up. Thus, a procrastinator has to work in SOS mode so as to complete all this work. And stage 3, repeat. Now the cycle resets and a procrastinator gets enveloped more into this vicious cycle. Congratulations! Now, as you've been repeatedly practicing all these three steps, you have mastered the art of procrastination. Now it is time for the big question. How do we protect our currency? Well, for that, use the NSDR method. N. Now, the hardest part of getting work done is getting started. So start taking actions towards your goals in order to break this cycle. Because the problem with procrastinators is that they're stuck in the process and thus show no progress. S. Set deadlines. Deadlines mean a time or a date before which something needs to be done. So, set a false deadline before the actual deadline so as to trick your brain towards working towards that particular goal. D. Declare. Declare to the world what you're working on. Because humans have this very curious behavior. If they promise something to the world, they are bound to do it to save themselves from personal embarrassment. And our reward. Humans have this behavior pre-installed in them that if they get a reward for performing a certain task, they are much more likely to perform it again to get more rewards. So reward yourself each time you are efficiently able to save your currency. Now, I leave this up to you to decide whether you want to consume your currency or invest it in the matters that truly make a difference. Thank you.